This is AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, an almost regularly scheduled open discussion on audio and video in higher education. We'll sound off about our most brilliant ideas, our dumbest mistakes, and everything in between. And because this conversation will almost certainly go off the rails at some point, we'll end up covering just about everything else. And now, the AV SuperFriends. For May 30th, 2025, it's the best-sounding podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends. Where are we? Well, Off the Rails, episode number 110. I had to find the count before I got there.
That seems. I feel like we've done that show already, but all right, I'll give you the point.
I thought that was last week.
Was it?
Are we? What are we?
No.
What are we talking about?
Somebody who's listening, let us know. We have no idea.
We're doing too many of these shows.
I've got a file name 110.
3/4.
I've got a file name 110 and a folder name 111. It's one of those two episodes.
The notes say 111, so I'm gonna.
I just changed
Start
it,
over.
but
Do it again.
Oh, you just changed it?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, you starting over?
Okay. It's one of those two episodes. Well, we're all that fun stuff. Broadcasting live from Chuck E. Cheese. It's time for another
Is it inside joke?
Oh my God!
Friday afternoon podcast adventure. This is just a mess right now, but hey, that's why you're listening to this. Screw it, I'm moving on. Say hello to today's panel of AV SuperFriends. Where's my button? Here it is. So I'm joined by an interactive systems liaison from Kansas City. Say hello to Jamie Reinhardt.
Making sure the two systems can interact.
Also joined by a collaborative infrastructure analyst from Corvallis, Oregon. Say hello to Mark Kolozinski.
It's all about touch points, my friends. Get those touch points in place. And once we have that, we can collaborate.
Say hello to Larry Darling, a signal integrity technologist from Greensboro, North Carolina.
I'm only worried about one signal in every system.
Just
One.
Larry, speaking of signal integrity, you want to get right up on that microphone there.
Hey, what happened
Right
there,
in.
buddy? You okay?
Larry's in
touched it.
relax
He
mode.
touched it.
relapse.
And finally joined by our Vice President of Adaptive Media Solutions from Bowling Green, Kentucky, Mr. Justin Rexing.
So that's a real company, and they take e-commerce brands and scale them up from 1 million to 5 million overnight, just like that.
Get on it.
Yeah.
Get on
It sounds
I don't know what the
real.
hell you're
And
waiting
guess
for.
what?
Yeah.
They're only advertisements on Facebook, so that's got to be real.
Oh, it's
Expect
legit.
you to
Then.
take our multi-dollar operation and scale it up to like $1 million, please. Let's go.
Yes.
with a simple deposit of $800.
I'm
this
about to-
couch could be yours.
I'm about to 5x this show. Let's go.
We're gonna have 10.
This is
5
not-
times this show.
So this is not a pyramid scheme. This is a reverse funnel system.
right.
Yes.
It's like the
You know it's a
food
good idea.
pyramid.
Food pyramid with some spice.
Bread's on bottom.
By the way, Justin, when I wrote your title here, Adaptive Media Solutions, it's because you're the Vice President in charge of adapters. So
I don't even. I barely have any adapters here. I'm always missing adapters, so I don't know how I'm in charge of adapters.
all right. Well, anyway, so on today's show, we're going to discuss a secret topic to be dropped in later. We did a recording earlier this week with a company who's renouncing stuff at InfoComm. So we did kind of a
renouncing stuff or
they're
announcing
renouncing things at InfoComm.
Mostly us.
We did a discussion with them earlier this week, and we will have that out next week as part of the recorded show. You can hear that then, but right now that's a secret.
That's why we're confused on what we're doing, because we're
I'm
doing
not confused at all.
You're not wrong.
No
3
confusion.
recordings for one show.
And we're going to talk about some nonsense at InfoComm. But first, let's do some housekeeping. Let's see. So first of all, if you are listening to this as a recorded MP3, which means you get to enjoy the segment coming up right now, we do stream live on Fridays at about 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, or whenever we get our act together and actually just click the start button.
We were pretty close today.
We were pretty close.
Just saying.
That's close.
You can join us for that live on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and whenever Blue Sky actually starts supporting streaming, we'll stream there too. If you can't join us live, we still want you to connect with us on the socials, so you can follow us on those same social places there: Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Blue Sky, all those fun places. Please don't forget to spread the word. If you could share this podcast with your friends, colleagues, enemies, perfect strangers, and anyone else who might enjoy it, that would be great. If you could somehow cause a scene at the local hospital and refuse to allow any further treatment until people subscribe, that would be just fantastic. And you get on
When
the
you're
news.
in the
Bonus.
like the cafeteria of the hospital.
Yes, not the.
I was thinking more the ER.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to do it.
Then you get on the news. If you do like the show and you want to support what we're doing, please consider donating. Your contributions to help us keep bringing you the honest content that you love or that you love to hate. And you can find the donation link in the show notes or on our website. We do want to hear from you if there's a topic you'd like us to cover, or if you want to yell at us about how wrong we are about something. Please reach out via email, and you can hit us up on mailbag@avsuperfriends.com or at the aforementioned socials. And finally, while you're listening to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, wherever the heck you're getting all this stuff, please go in and leave a rating and review. And thanks to those of you who have done that, because we have pretty darn good ratings, actually.
It works.
Are we above 2 stars?
Yeah. Yes.
With 3 stars?
Keep going.
4.5? What is this? Is this out of 100?
We are 5 stars out of 100, so we're getting there.
Nice.
5-star company.
I'm a 5-star man. So if you do that, that bumps it up in the algorithms. More people are forced to see that at the top of their list and their podcast applications and all that fun stuff. So that forces more people to get exposed to the show in a way that we really do mean that. So
Forces them to.
they are forcibly
Get
exposed.
in there. So no choice.
All right, all that nonsense out of the way. Yes.
That was long.
And you've waited for it all week. It's time for Justin to sing along with the news theme.
Here we go. Yeah. I'm going to do that before every day in my 3-day course. Just come in, do that little sound, get everybody awake.
You want that as your ringtone?
Ooh,
That would be nice.
that's not a bad idea.
If you want that for a ringtone, let us know. We'll be making that available. Whenever
Justin will call you
calls
personally and sing along to whatever
have
song you want.
Donation, you can have it.
All right, so the news this week isn't so much news as a product announcement, which really caught our eye. The link in the show notes here,
From the corner.
and
just
it's
got a
not
water leak in
something
our
that will.
building.
I'm guessing there will be something. That sounds important. Yes.
Yeah.
This is a building you're not in, right?
My office is in it. The one I don't go to.
Okay. Yes.
Should be fine. Be all right.
So this is a company who I believe they will have a booth at InfoComm. So I'm sure this will be there, and you will want to go take a look at it. But this is not one of those like typical commercial AV things. It's like commercial AV adjacent.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that's intriguing because of its adjacentness. Not sure if that's a
Adjacency?
word.
Is that a word?
Agency. How about that? We'll just shorten
That's
it.
different.
Oh,
No.
It is different. And I'm not sure it's that adjacent.
I don't know.
Is it though?
It's
All
at
right.
least
Sounds
in
like
the
an
backyard.
argument.
It's in the backyard.
It's on the other side of the fence, Larry. I can see it. All
I
right.
think
so
it's
this-
a
What is it?
consumer.
Show us this link. Where
It's
we
a consumer broadcast product. How about that?
Is it?
Is that fair?
No. I would say we're looking at some sort of potential new control platform, control ecosystem, maybe.
It was
say
a
no.
consumer broadcast product until now.
This
that
is
fair?
why it's important, because it is a disruptor of
Maybe.
sort.
Yes.
Maybe, right?
This is a potential disruptor that they could ruin with terrible software. But so this comes from Elgato, and this is the Elgato Stream Deck. And you're saying, wait a
We've
minute,
heard of
that's
that,
been
Chris.
around for
We know
years.
that,
Justin
yeah.
has one in his hand right now. Well,
So
it's
does
not
Larry.
that. And so does Larry.
It's
And I haven't touched
Oh, are we playing this game?
Before
Oh,
I
there's
on.
one too. Look at Elgato
I
Stream
use-
Decks. Mark,
I
where's
use
your
mine as a
I
study
have
guide
one.
for AutoCAD.
It's not here, but the software is running on my computer. It's
Your
taking up resources.
computer worse
Yes.
right now. So it's not the Stream Deck itself. It's
No.
It's a Stream Deck accessory. It's a stream. They literally call it
The Stream Deck accessory.
the Stream Deck accessory. They call it the Network Dock. It is an IP enabler for the Stream Deck that is a tiny little box, PoE powered, USB on the backside. So they're saying, oh, you can remote this, whatever, but you can put it on the network, a network, whatever. You can talk to it from other
The
devices.
network? Are you
The
sure?
network, sir.
Are you sure?
The real one.
It has to be on the network.
Security scans?
Don't worry about it. Just plug it in.
Mind your business.
Put it in there. Yeah, don't worry about it.
The interesting
Okay.
thing about this, so they're thinking of the standpoint you can remote things, but it also opens up a much wider communication platform that this sort of thing could really play into our
Could.
types of spaces.
Keyword could.
Could.
Oh, this
could, in
Could.
theory.
It will.
Could. Potentially.
And I will throw that conversation grenade in and say, fight, fight, fight.
No, I don't know. I can't fight about it because we're going to buy one. I'm going to see what it can't do. And it's like, yeah, I can't do what I thought it could do. And then put it aside. Wait for that firmware upgrade 2.0.
To be
I don't
fair, I think Elgato will be a happening booth at InfoComm. I think it's going to be busy. I
Well,
think there'll be a lot
probably.
of people there because of the nature of disruptor that this stuff has been. Just as like when we saw Black Magic take off, I think it's the same type of thing here, where, and Larry, you can disagree. That's fine. You can be wrong.
No, you can't.
Fight.
No, but I think it people may not see it as like pro AV or that kind of stuff, but I think it allows us to think differently about how we control those individuals potentially, those individual endpoints, right? Now, under what we can and can't do, and it allows us to think a little higher up that stack at the application side. And it's simple. We've been saying it for years. Simple button panels. You know, I don't need lots of widgetry and touch panels and custom UI. Though you can go down a deep dark rabbit hole of UI and folder structure with Stream Deck. But I think when we go down the simplicity road and how do we make things more simple and more elegant, I think it allows us to think differently. Like what are the opportunities we have with something like this? And I think that was what caught my eye out of the corner of it. I didn't want to look directly at it. I just wanted to say, I see you over there. I see you. And then scratch my chin. Like, well,
I'm wondering.
what would it be like if I just had like a PC in a room and a Stream Deck and I was controlling all my stuff via IP by this one little box?
Well, I mean, I could do that now with a
What
button
about-
panel from Crestron or
an
Extron.
open API to an open AV system. Ooh.
Right. Yeah.
But
So
I mean,
Yes, Justin, you're not wrong. You can do everything.
Like,
you can do everything.
and
just
that's
like
my
do
point is
right now.
so I'm spending, I don't know, $600-700 on that solution plus labor. Is this solution going to be less money but different? So now they have to learn. Now, is it more
the
simple
fact that I can
because
buy it
it's
on
not?
B&H right now and just drop ship it to somebody, it's going to be in more.
That doesn't mean
people's
it's better.
hands. No, it just means
Yeah.
it's going to be out there.
So
You're gonna have
Be
people
out there,
yeah.
but I mean, we've already demonstrated all of us have these on our desks.
we
How
don't
many of
use
us
them.
Really use them.
No, I don't use it either. But I think
yeah.
it's.
I had to
got,
unplug
like-
mine to bring it over here, Larry. So
I don't
still
believe that it's solving and earth shaking, bringing new capability to the scene. I just like that you're seeing the disruptor like this being thrown into the market.
I will say for those community colleges, or you may, sorry to step on you, Larry, but for those who may not have a staff, may not have Crestron, Extron, QSys experts, may not,
Or
whatever, maybe this is their solution because it's fits their skill set. Like I would say if that worked, then sure, but I mean, it's just another button panel when you come down to it.
I've tried to do this very thing with this several times. Now, what's intriguing about this little device and its brother, the
Like, does this have
RACU
feedback?
broadcast thing,
I guess it does have feedback.
because it's also network based. Is that the original one was a USB-C only. The biggest hang up I had was it has to run at the
USB-A only.
and it had to run on the administrative level.
the admin side, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I love it, the fact that on the other side, what I'm really intrigued by, and now Elgato has opened up and said, you know what, we don't mind the companion app, the open source one that has better tie-ins to everything. Before they were kind of playing the we don't like you game, but I think they've realized that, wait a minute, we don't have to do all of the work that Companion's doing, so from BitFocus. So I'm intrigued a little bit because it's network-based. I have the same concerns about Larry. Is like, okay, I think there are going to be some security issues. I would like to see it be more like some of the processing power inside of it. I'd even pay a little bit extra to have the processing power inside of it instead of
being at the
it
application.
relying on the PC itself, because the application that runs on the PC, it's not multi-user enterprise friendly.
No.
And that's going to be the hang up of trying to do this. But it's not much different than some of the Black Magic stuff. I mean, like the ATM switchers can be network based, but we run into all these issues with, but the software needs to have these credentials. And it's like, so it's not really there, but man, it's really damn close. It's really damn close.
Larry,
So
get in there.
I've got a question because when I was reading through the article and trying to find this, I couldn't find exactly. In the past, the Stream Deck has always tied to a PC, and that was how you
Running
set it up
software.
and decided what it actually did.
It's a tactical piece of piece you can touch for the application.
Yeah. So is this going to be agnostic for those bring your own device scenarios?
That's
or
why we're going to
back
buy one and
the-
find out.
Okay.
We have
Well,
to
and
find
that's-
out.
But that's what I was like. That's where my experimentation keeps getting stopped.
Exactly.
It's that right there. Like
Well,
it
and
does whatever I want. I've even played around with the idea of putting a little, I'm going to say Raspberry Pi, but any of those little board-based systems inside the little box,
A microcompute.
just to run BitFocus Companion and do all of the little processing I need. And now it is a one-box solution
Yeah.
using BitFocus and the network-based stuff there. But
And I think where stuff like this makes sense to me is, as you've been discussing, Jamie, you kind of need like a PC or something to drive all that. A lot of us, not me, but a lot of us on this call are building systems that require a second PC as the brains of the operation to run things, called Zoom rooms, Team rooms, etc.
Hey, you have to call me out
Couldn't
like
you
that.
have something like this in theory? Let's just say once the software thing gets sorted out, this is your interface. It's only got, think about it. Think about people going into a Zoom room, Teams room, to a modern one that's got the automation going. You've got your camera automation, all this. What are they doing? Turn on the system, and maybe I don't even need to do that if I'm using PIR sensors or something. I'm
Should be on when you get there.
Maybe I'm adjusting the volume or muting something. There's like, they might need 3 or 4 buttons at most. So maybe a little one of these guys sitting on the table, maybe that's it.
But you've just bought a button panel and a computer. Why not buy a button panel and a processor if that's what your end
You're not
goal
wrong.
is? Like,
You're not
why
wrong.
don't
Just
you
They-
really-
playing
no.
devil's advocate here that this is kind of an intriguing little dealy boober.
I think it ends up being like
the network base is the news here.
Yeah, the network base is the news.
It's breaking it off of a USB connection. It's now a network-based device.
And our question is, what does that really mean?
Yeah.
means they're
But what does it
shifting
really
their
mean?
organization. It means they're thinking outside of the immediate spigots and tubes that they've been working in. They're taking more of a possibly an enterprise approach.
Yeah.
I would phrase it thusly: this expanding to a potentially wider ecosystem is a potential disruptor that also has a huge asterisk after that like, if their software allows it, because that is going to be, I think, the limiting
What
factor
if it
here.
was in the cloud, Chris? Would you pay for it?
Stop it.
Ooh, what if it only works in the cloud?
Focus Companion.
I would
cloud
only use it if it had a monthly subscription.
Yes.
What if it costs like $1 a month to run this thing?
$29,999.
It's going to cost hundreds and thousands of dollars to manage the
does-
bills.
but would that change your opinion on it? Like, only reason I'm throwing it in there is because we talked about this local compute, and that it being connected. But what if they said, yeah, you know what, we're going to give you a year's worth of BitFocus Companion in the cloud.
what
for
if,
free?
Mark?
What
if they turned it into a processor that didn't need the cloud and you can just run it without a PC, like a
But
Crestron
what
or
fun
Extron
would that
button
be?
panel? It'd be
I want those juicy data
Although that would
insights
make-
from the cloud AI. Then we'd have bolted in there.
yeah, but I don't want the processing to live in the. Just keep it in the room.
Don't
Keep
you
it in the
know?
room, Mark.
You want it in the cloud? Just ask Joe. He'll tell you.
I don't need it in the cloud. Not for a button
So
panel.
I think
yet.
that the cult of
here's a question.
fanboys
How long
will
until
drive
Justin
this
comes
thing.
back and he's like, everything's in the cloud now? Was that 3 years out from that? 5 years out?
I'll have no choice.
We
I think
need
there's
everything.
a huge user group of these things. Like, we have people here that are like crazy about Elgato stuff and all the automations in their immediate like office spaces and all that stuff. And they're doing a lot of AV adjacent / broadcast stuff, and they're doing a lot with them. It is lifting a lot and automating a lot of tasks. If you just cross your eyes just right, you can see it doing a lot of the same things that we ask our control systems to do in our environments.
I mean, I could see it. I use mine as an AutoCAD tutor. So I've got all the, let's see, ortho and model and OSNAP and, rectangle, circle, line, ray, stretch, break. I'm like, what was the command for
Is this AutoCAD or Yoga?
that?
It's automation.
And I got
Doing
little cool
automation.
graphics on it. So I'm just doing little automation, but I realized that after
Is that
so
different
long
than what
of,
we're doing in AV?
well, a little bit, because after so long of using that as a study guide, it's quicker now for me to just type the commands because I've practiced. So now it's pointless. It just sits there and it's like decorative. It's like,
to be fair,
I don't know what to
like,
do with it.
Autodesk has been saying that for like 20 years. Like, learn the command line and just be faster.
Well, as you use it more, it's, just like riding a bike kind of thing.
Here's what Elgato needs to do. They need, because AutoCAD is not cheap. They need to partner with Autodesk, include one of these with every AutoCAD license, and then have the AutoCAD training recommendation to use this all the time.
It looks really cool with the graphics. Like, oh, that took a little time to put together and waste of time now because I don't use it.
Building rooms around it, man. They have some small studio spaces that are using this technology to kind of work.
I could see a small studio space.
Exactly.
What's the difference between that and a small classroom?
Or a small office anymore.
The class.
He's talking.
It's closer to a small office than a small classroom.
It's
a studio space. Because we don't do Zoom or Teams in small classrums. We don't.
dropped the picture in yesterday in the back channel. You saw it. That was the classroom of the future. It looked like an office desk.
That is not.
You saw my reaction.
Alrighty.
That is not correct.
So anyway.
So I think the reason we bring this up again is because it's potentially disruptish if it lives up to its the hype. That's not correct. If it lives up to its potential, if it grows in the right way, if it allows the right access. But we have many questions. Elgato will be at InfoComm, so I suggest everyone who's listening to this now go to their booth immediately and start asking all these same questions. So by the third day, when I actually walk by to ask these questions,
They have an answer ready.
they're like, "Why are you? What's going on here?" So anyway,
They're gonna roll your eyes.
Every
roll
one of
their
those
eyes at you, Chris.
conversations should start with, "I was listening to this podcast, and they said you all suck."
Whoa!
hey,
say that
we said that.
Oh,
You just said that,
Yes.
Jamie.
see, and it'll start.
It's a fine
so close.
product. I just don't know
Sponsorship,
if
we were
it's
so
being
close.
marketed.
Just mark it off the list.
Yeah, that's.
But I do
We're
believe
not
it'll
going
be
to stop
happening.
by their booth now because of Jamie.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
Yes, we will.
we're
I
going to stop
probably
and
will.
drop him
You're
off.
all going to
and
be
we'll keep going.
interested enough.
Then we'll know people listen.
See it.
Also, I'm just gonna throw this one out there. How long until somebody, I don't know, it wouldn't be like it'd be an Extron, a Crestron, somebody goes and buys frickin' Elgato, kills everything else except.
I was
this.
about to say earlier, wouldn't it be cool if QSys made a widget in their system for Elgato? Now they have an actual button panel that
There,
I'm sure
but
there already is
there
a plugin for
there
that.
is one in BitFocus in the companion app.
Really?
They're ahead of you.
There's all kinds of
Out
stuff
there.
in there. It is a worthy investment
saying.
of your.
I could
wasting
drive
your time.
ArcNet stuff off of GPIO on my QSys stuff. There is some weird
do
stuff
whatever
out
you
there.
want,
So
yeah.
if you want to try, I could drive these DMX lights off of it if I really wanted to do it. But instead, I just have a lighting console over here. So
How much aggravation do you want to go through to get there?
how much automation
Version,
and aggravation?
Automation.
All righty.
aggravation.
Well, with all that said, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to run a little message from a friend of the show here, and we're going to come back and talk about some interesting things from some interesting companies talking about more disruptive stuff. That's pretty vague, but figure it out. The AV SuperFriends are sponsored by Computer Comforts Incorporated. CCI has been building tech furniture for the education market since 1987. Instructor lecterns, computer lab tables, collaborative tables, and active learning clusters are just a few of the many innovative products made by CCI. Speaking of lecterns, Computer Comforts has just released Evolve. If you're looking to future-proof your classroom, Evolve is the Swiss Army knife of lecterns. Seriously, this flexible lectern does it all. Not only is Evolve sit-to-stand and ADA compliant, it's also packed with tech-friendly features. And the best part, it ships fully assembled and ready for action. Check out the 90-second video to see all the options. Visit computercomforts.com/evolve.
The Swiss Army knife. Whoa.
All righty. So for our final segment today, did we decide on one of these? Mm-hmm. Which one are we doing here?
What do you do when you hit the floor?
Strategy
I thought we were doing all of them. Are we,
Okay.
Strategies.
I don't really. God bless it. All right.
It's okay. Well, we're trying to stay InfoComm related because InfoComm is in 2 weeks from today. No, 1 week, 1 week and a half from today. 9 days. Well, how many days? 9 days from today.
Sure.
And we'll take this opportunity also that we are doing several live appearances at InfoComm, but check our social posts right now. We do have links to both our show floor tour on Friday and our live show at AVIXA TV on Friday afternoon. Both of those have limited seating. It's just we can't deal with 150 people kind of cruising around. That would be great, but logistically it's not going to work. So we are asking people to go sign up and register and get a free ticket. It's free. There's no charge for it. Bring as many people as you want. I don't care. But at a certain point, there's a limited number of
There's only so many seats.
there.
You'll be like fighting over seats.
We'll be fighting over the seats. So
In Chuck E. Cheese.
And as a 2-for-1, we're going to start the tour at the Hetma booth at 11 o'clock on Friday.
Yeah.
And that's going to finish at AVSF TV just in time for our live show. So we're going to
Almost like we
right
planned
into
it.
that. So,
Man.
it's weird how that works. So please join us for 3 hours of nonsense on Friday at
do we
InfoComm.
get a
And then you
walk-up?
can go to all the happy hour because it's 1 to 2.
3
At 2 o'clock,
hours.
11 to 2, dude.
Do we get a bathroom break?
No.
Not you.
You need a stadium buddy. And if you don't know what that is, look it up.
A stadium, buddy?
Yeah, this is
Oh
a thing.
God.
There's a rabbit.
I'm not
hole
going to
for you
Google that right now.
Don't Google that, man.
Fine. It's legit.
I'm not saying it's not.
But you can join us for 3 hours on Friday for our show floor tour where these are not sponsored or any way. These are things we go vet during the week. We don't know what's going to be on the tour yet because we're not there. And we're going to go find the 8, 10, 12, 14 things we want you to see because we have vetted them. Then we're going to do our kind of show wrap there to talk about what we think are kind of the best disruptors of the show, things that really stuck out, things that are really important, things to know about. And then it'll be 2 o'clock, at which point everyone is doing their closing happy hour. So let's just say free beer for everybody.
Go get them.
Yeah. Do we get
Spoiler,
walk-up
usually we
songs
don't go
on
to like the
TV thing?
big stuff you've already seen. We try to really find those little the nooks and crannies in there and show you the things
Or
you
the
just
crooks and
may miss.
nannies.
Or the crooks and nannies. But the big stuff you're going to find on your own. That's not our intent to drag you through those booths again. But the stuff that you may have missed because you were being drugged around with other people. So
If we
that's our
stop
goal.
by a big booth, it's to find that little thing in the
Yes.
back
Yes.
that they
Good
forget
point.
about.
Exactly.
So, and because we have done that past, we have gone to a big booth to show, but it's this thing back here. They don't even know what it is.
Yeah, and then
Like, you want to see
this? We're
that?
like, no,
Why
we
do
don't
you want
wanna
to
talk
see
about
that?
We don't want to talk about that stuff. We want to talk about the stuff you don't want to talk about.
And Jamie, if you do want walk-up music, yes, you can have walk-up music.
Can I have Barbie Girl?
Or this.
just
you want
that bar
Barbie
over
Girl?
and over and over.
Yeah, just nonstop.
Oh man,
I don't have
Oh,
Barbie
yes.
Girl loaded, but I mean, let's see what I get.
work on that. We can get that.
No, it's only for
Oh,
the
here we go.
Mexican TV thing.
Just want that.
Kind of the same.
That's just lame.
That's not even close to Barbie
on.
Girl,
Okay.
but
Close
Anyhow.
enough.
Speaking of getting
what
to
are
the
we
show
talking about
floor,
here? So, yes, we're doing strategy think, right? Is that what we
Yes.
decided?
Yeah. So what's
Justin is
our strategy
nodding.
where we
Nodding.
find these little things?
What does it mean? Yeah.
so what is
Justin,
my
this
strategy?
Is your favorite topic? What is your strategy?
I'll be totally honest with y'all. I wait for you bozos to tell me what was good and go research it. I don't have
That is a
time.
legit strategy.
I'm serious. I
I feel like that's kind of how everybody does it in a weird way.
am
All-
done
it's-
with the show floor.
the
I'll
funnel
be
plan.
honest. I don't really have time to deal with that. I don't like all the crowds and some of the smells, maybe even. So
This is not the first time you brought up smells. What is happening?
Yes, it's
He's sensitive. Leave him alone.
Yeah, it's fine.
there was a couple booths last year that kind of rank. I'm just flashbacks,
I remember.
PTSD a little bit. So I honestly, I'll just talk with people and like listen to you fools and see what you're talking about. It's like, bring up
Hey,
Google and
we found this thing. You should go see it.
yeah, like, hey, okay, I'll go check it out.
How do you
So
go about
So
finding
your
the
strategy
things?
is you are outsourcing your.
I'm the
your selections.
passive, yeah.
He will
correct.
go where the crowd says, like, he'll go stand in that line. You tell him to go stand in that line, he'll go stand in that line.
I'm
He
going to
doesn't
go
know where it
spend
goes.
time
Yeah.
like talking with companies, like out off the show floor, people that I know, and then of course going to all my AI classes this year. It's going to be super important.
For a moment, I heard going to my AA classes for a
That was
AA classes.
That's
a
it.
prior time.
By Friday, most
Yeah,
of us
exactly.
belong there.
That was a
Don't know
prior
why.
time.
That's where it went.
Yeah.
But okay.
So I do want to
Yeah.
point out on this topic of like, what's your general InfoComm show floor strategy?
Yeah,
There's a lot of people asking the same thing. A lot of them give the same pat answers, which are wrong. Oh, you need to wear comfortable shoes. Oh, you need to hydrate. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we get it. We're past that point.
Going to the desert. I get it. Yeah.
No, this
You're
one's in
not
swamp.
going to desert this year.
Swamp this year. Desert next year.
Packed wrong.
All that stuff is Couple of real world ones here. Avoid the big booths, the giant booths. Avoid them on Wednesday, the first day. They are jammed. It is packed. You can't get enough time to get a word in edgewise to find out what's going on. If you want to cruise through and then look for stuff and come back later, that's fine. But I would avoid that. Also, I know all the salespeople want to do it. They're going to hate me for it, but avoid making the appointments because they always want to I need 30 minutes of your time, but you only can do 6 or 8 of those,
late.
And then your day is done. Yeah,
20 minutes over there, and then you're going to go all the way across in the next 20 minutes, which is all the way across the convention floor, and you're going to spend your time just.
And they're only going to show you what they're wanting to sell you, not what you need. Right. Just remember that. They're going to show you what they want to sell, not what you're after.
I think
and many of them will show you the same thing that's been out for years, but it's a big seller, so they want to show you. Look, you know about our series of. Well, yes, I do.
We got a curved direct view LED wall back here. Have you seen one of these?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I like to intentionally
we were discussing
leave
before
time.
the show. Go ahead.
Okay, I like to leave time on calendar just for that piece. The start at the back, work forward, but don't take any meeting invites during that time. Give yourself a couple hours to just get lost. You're not trying to go one specific thing, but go and try to figure out a way to not know where you are. Just go get immersed in it and let yourself just stumble into stuff. I really like just being surprised by things and having no exact intent to find it. Just really let it come to you.
Absolutely, Mark. That is actually my strategy. I wander the floor aimlessly until I find someone I know who looks excited about something, and then I follow them for a while and find out what they're excited about.
Larry, 2 years ago, that was a security guard. So
it worked.
It was the little robot thing. You just kept following it around.
Place there.
I don't wander aimlessly. I try to go just up and down the aisles almost as fast as I can, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll cut through booths, and I'll just keep my head on a swivel, looking for an opening. Take the ball to the
mingling
to the hoop.
Yeah,
to the end zone, to the hoop in the end zone.
But
hit that home run.
But I do skip most of the big stuff on that first day, but I want to, because that's where I find those little widgets, and I try to, for me, the first day and a half, I don't even want to talk to the salespeople. Mm-hmm. I'm avoiding them at all costs. I would just want to blow through the thing, and then I'll come back Thursday afternoon, and on Friday when it's slowed down a little bit, I might go to the giant booths by Friday, but that's how I usually attack it, because nobody goes to the small booths right away first thing in the morning on Wednesday. Everybody hits the Trons or the big displays. And by Thursday afternoon, I'm usually over it. So I like to go down and get lost in the concert area. Turn it up to 11. I want to hear my sphincter shrink.
Whoa. What the F, dude?
Hey, man. Sometimes you just got to be a nerd and just
Tighten it up, buddy.
I mean, you could have used 100 different descriptors there, but okay.
You had to use that one. That was the next on the list. He drew the straw. That was what he had to do.
Jesus
well played,
Christ.
sir. Well played.
One thing, and we mentioned before the show, and I think it is important. They pass out in a lot of, depending which hotels you're in, they distribute those the show dailies. Mm-hmm. Those are important. Yes, they have a lot of kind of pat stuff at the beginning because those are paid sponsors, and there are a lot of details on their big new thing or whatever. That's fine. Go to the back, and there's all these little ads. There's it's almost like the classifieds. Scan through those. Also look at the ad, the one-page ads or the half-page ads throughout, because there's some interesting stuff in there. And some things will just be intriguing. You're like, whoa, wait, HD-based T that immediately converts to USB. You're like, wait, what? Write all those down, because most of them will be from companies you've not heard of, or it's a thing that when you get to a larger company that you heard of, or they may not have heard of the thing that they have in their own booth. Go find that thing. So I make a big list of those, and then on Fridays, I'm blasting through, going and looking to 12, 14, 15 of these things. And there's some interesting little widgets, interesting solutions, interesting stuff out there that you never heard of and may not have heard of if you only did the big official tours, if you did the big booth openings, or they go to the thing to see the big shiny, which is cool. Yes, the moving LED walls are great, but I'm not buying those. But I might need 20 of these little widgets over here. There's some interesting stuff there to get out in front of, and don't avoid those show dailies. It's a quick scan to go to the back and look through them and find some stuff you may not, or you may otherwise miss. And then usually, to Jamie's point, no one goes to the small booths. It may be a smaller booth. There may be 3 or 4 people there who are happy to spend 10 or 15 minutes telling you about every little thing it can do. And when you start asking very pointed questions, wait, so you're telling me if I plug this into this and then do this and I can stream this over to here? And they may be like, yes, and you need this box to do it. And like, now you're into the shit. So lots of interesting stuff out there.
What you really want is you want Chris's calendar. If you can somehow get Chris's calendar when you're on that floor, he will tell you where you need to be at what time. And often that is where I will go.
And it's usually not where Mark and I are.
It's usually where
But
I'm
I will
not,
say-
yes. And so it's
Mark
but
and
it's
I
am
are
very
gonna
usually
bring it
somewhere
up.
else.
I am
Getting
gonna bring
texts
it up,
going,
though.
Hey,
you were supposed to be over here at this time, and then we're like, shit.
If I remember correctly, now we all will agree
Talking about
that Chris,
the triple booking.
we all agree that Chris is a very good planner, and Chris gets very enthusiastic about the show floor at InfoComm. Last year, Chris planned so much that he had to be in 3 places and 5 times, and we did not actually abide by the calendar last year. That's shocking. So I want to know, Chris, can you abide by your calendar this year like it was a contract?
I abided by my calendar. I had 3 things
Oh.
I had 3 places to be simultaneously, and I went to all of them.
You did not. I was with
No, you did not. I was with you at one of them. You're like, shit, I got to be on. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
You're
aha.
talking about the one where I had to run from Cusis to Legrand? Like at the
Cusis.
same... Yeah, I got up and left in the middle of it and then came back? That part?
And left me there
happens, yeah.
in the interview, like doing.
Yeah. Going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I was covering for your ass.
When you see Chris
That's
on the
right.
floor, just ask him where
Was I
where
not
he needs to
there?
be.
Did I then not go to Legrand and then another booth and then I came back? So did I not hit all 3 in
And
the
back
allotted
again.
time?
If you want to look at
Balanced,
it that way,
unbalanced, and back.
or you could look at it like, oh yeah, I abandoned Justin at the Cusis booth to go
So
deal with.
here was the genesis of that is my inability to do time zones properly.
Hey,
every year.
I'm just as guilty as anybody with time zones. I barely can get to Central Eastern time. I mean, I've got that in my own state, and I can't even get that shit right. So
It was.
I'll
in
forgive you
Vegas.
on the
Isn't
time
that
zone.
Your time zone?
exactly. Thank you, Larry.
I'm not
Yeah.
in Vegas's time zone.
You're
Are you
not?
sure?
No, I'm
Or
pretty
you're
sure I'm
1
not.
hour off.
We are
1
closer than
hour.
We are.
That might be mine. I
And
don't
how
know.
much,
1 hour.
how much can you screw up your calendar if you're off by an hour?
At least an
I
hour.
just don't
Times
keep one.
3?
Yeah.
I just don't keep one. So that
To be
makes
fair,
it
I
a lot
also
easier.
it come to
screwed
you,
up
yeah.
by an entire day because I was convinced something was like on Thursday and it was Wednesday.
Yeah,
or
that
vice
also
versa, so-
happened. Yeah. Thanks for reminding everybody, Chris. That was 2.
It's okay. I did it again this year with the same person. I was like, hey, I've got a conflict at this thing. Can we move that? Oh, wait, that's actually on Thursday. Never mind. I retract everything I just
Missed
said.
it.
So do you currently have a conflict on your calendar for this year right now?
I have multiple conflicts right now. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Of course. We're here.
So if we publish your calendar, how is anybody supposed to follow that?
It's
I
just
will be at one
suggestive.
of these 3 things.
It's
Narrows
just
down the
suggestive.
options.
Oh, like come
These are
find me. This
things
is a
we thought
game,
were
mystery
at least
game.
interesting to put on our calendar. Doesn't mean we're going to be there. We just thought it was worth
We were
checking out.
probably going to be there at some point.
Yeah.
So speaking
but
of calendars and things, you reminded me of that I also, if you guys haven't started, start your list of like the things that you want to find. And some of these are made up. Some of these are products that may not exist, but I want to find
You wanna
something
find
like
one.
this.
Yeah.
So, for
Give us
example,
one.
here's one. MST transport for conference room laptops, what happens to the HDMI input?
MST. What do you unpack that? for me?
Multi-stream transport.
Oh,
So
okay.
multi-stream transport is multiple displays off of a single USB-C,
Yeah.
which DisplayPort alt mode with MST, so it's on top of DisplayPort alt mode, supports. So in theory, and there's a number of boxes out there that sort of do this, I could plug a USB-C device in that, again, if we're mature enough to handle USB-C, which most people aren't, if I have the appropriate device, appropriate cabling, and all the appropriate stuff, I can see 2 displays in the room. Well, that's pretty cool.
I mean, I could have.
What happens to somebody else who comes in with their HDMI laptop? What experience do they get? Do they only get one display? Do they get the same display mirrored? Are there software solutions like Display Link I need to install and use
Once
a
you go
USB
USB,
cable?
you're not looking back to HDMI, buddy.
I'm just saying these are the questions of things that I'm going to go looking for to
Go
see
all the
what I
way
can
in.
find out there. And I'm willing to bet I will find the preferred solution is going to be not from one of the large companies that everyone's heard of. You're like, oh yeah, it was from this one over here, and they'll sell you this box for $1,200. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
Need two
Comes
of
with
them now.
literal spyware on it.
Yes.
Like Geffen or something.
And as soon as
Why
you
are you
said
putting that on your
MST,
network?
I jumped
Let's-
to Mystery Science Theater. And
let's
I was
play
just
that game.
lost
that's
You wanna
MS
find
so
the
Larry, that's
shadiest
MST3K.
thing.
I
I'm beyond
thought he
that.
was
I
talking
need-
about Microsoft Teams.
That's what I
Okay.
thought. Yeah.
That's MSF. So, Larry, yeah, we're going beyond MST3K. Now we're up to MST4K. but a different kind.
And beyond.
I'm just going to avoid that. Just not going to go near that with a 12-foot stick.
All right.
Okay.
That's a good
All
thing
right.
because 12
Well-
foot's too far for USB-C.
Any other
right.
strategies? Any other
Correct.
worth sharing?
Have a
think
plan. My recommendation, have a plan, at least in the sense of things that you need to find. Like, I need to find these 3 things. As
Or-
opposed to just like, I'm just here.
Or maybe your plan is to outsource like me and
There's
go learn
nothing
shit.
wrong with being just there.
You could be
Plan
there,
is
but
listen to our morning show, though. We
Yes.
may give you some juicy tidbits and things that we find. We will have those early on.
Yeah, so
Good
we're
days.
recording at like in the 8 o'clock hour each day, magically before the show.
is
flows
that
open.
local time? Is that
I don't
Eastern?
I'm going to
Wherever
go
we
for the
are,
time zone.
that's
It'll
where-
probably be
that's
3
where
a.m. for me. The whole point being, we are going to have a show published before like 10 o'clock every morning. So as you're kind of leisurely rolling out of bed to go to your continental breakfast, we will have a new episode that we did that day talking about stuff that we saw yesterday or stuff we're doing today or things, interesting stuff. So there may be some tidbits in there that are going to get you some, a leg up on things that you may not have known about and may even redirect some of your potential plans. So,
So, yeah.
and schedule yourself
You'll
3
be your
times for the same
Sherpa.
thing.
InfoComm Sherpa.
Strategic advantage.
All right. Well,
All right. Well, that's the last of that stuff. Any other last thoughts? No.
and stay hydrated.
It's only a week away. 1 week away.
Comfortable shoes, lots of water.
Well, for me, 1 week away.
A week from
Today.
Saturday. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, you're flying down a week from today. You're there tomorrow teaching your class. So.
Yep.
Go to our socials, sign up for the tour, sign up for the live show because it's just physically limiting. We can't get 200 people in there. We'd love it, but can't do
heckle
it.
us.
So. No charge. Bring friends.
Thanks, everybody.
Well, we've managed to ruin yet another episode of AV SuperFriends Off the Rails. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com. If you complain loud enough, we might just invite you on the show.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV SuperFriends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.